Hello my dearest friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Diana and the Book Hunt. It's been a while since I've filmed. I have to be honest, I was sick and I'm still kind of getting over it. But I'm finally well enough to film and tell you about some books that I've been reading recently. And I have a fun video planned that I've done a couple of weeks ago on my channel as well. This is going to be, are these new releases worth it, kind of a video. And it's also dubbing as recent reads because a lot of the books that are going to be at the tail end of my list are books that I just recently read. Essentially, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about books that I had read that are new releases in the past 3 to 4 months at the time when I read it, and this is going to be similar. So most of these books have come out at the tail end of 2024 up to right now. So a lot of these books, I have to say, I'm going to do like a yes, maybe no kind of a recommendation or at least opinion from my side, whether you should pick them up. And a lot of these were quite good reads. I have very few that I was critical about or that I didn't enjoy. So I'm going to be going ahead and diving in. I don't know how long this is going to be because I every time say that I'm going to keep it as short as possible and then I'm talking about books for like 30 minutes. So I'm going to just tell you that it's about 15 plus books. I think it's 15 to 17 books that I have on this list. And for the ones that I love them, I probably will keep it. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass over here. I'm gonna talk about the books as I talk about them, as I feel about them, because typically that's what I do. So let's just go ahead and dive in. The first book I'm going to talk about is a young adult paranormal romance, which is called A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya. This came out in December of 2024. And I have to say that this book is a maybe to yes kind of a situation, because if you read young adult books, then this is going to be a yes for you. If you're not into young adult books anymore, it's more so a maybe. I tend to enjoy young adult books in certain subgenres. I don't know how to explain myself, but certain books work for me. Other books, I'm like, I probably am not the intended audience, so I didn't enjoy this as much as I should have or would have if I'd read it when I was a young adult. And this is kind of falling into that category a little bit. I did appreciate the writing is great in this book, and also the premise of the book is quite great. And I did enjoy the plot, but then again, I was missing kind of the more romance heavy kind of a plot that I typically would go for when I'm reading a new adult or an adult romance. So this one focuses on a boy whose family gets killed off by vampires, and he wants to get revenge on them, and he goes to this vampire kind of bar or club, and then he gets turned into a vampire because he's on his own against all these vampires, obviously. So he's now in the predicament of trying to find the cure, because he has heard that there may be some kind of a cure if he goes to this town where vampires originated, that someone there might be able to help him out. So he travels to this small village where there is a vampire hunting family that is like the most prominent family within that small village, and the heroine is one of those vampire hunters. So we've got a vampire and a vampire hunter, and this, I have to say, is set in kind of a historical setting, so it's more so a historical paranormal romance. And I really did enjoy the setting of the book. I enjoyed the writing of the book. So again, this is a maybe leaning towards a yes for me. The second book on my list is a second book within a standalone companion series by Piper Rain. It's a hockey series. This one is called Mr. Broody, and it's a second chance romance between a couple who used to be in a very good committed relationship, but the heroine kind of felt like her identity was tied to her pro hockey playing boyfriend at the time. She needed to find herself, so they broke up, and they haven't been together for about 8 to 10 years, and now that she's back in their hometown, they kind of reconnect. And in the meantime, he has become a single dad. He has adopted a boy, and she needs to figure out whether she can fit within their small family. So it's a book that I really did enjoy, especially the audiobook for it is a duet narration, so I definitely recommend the audiobook for this one. If you enjoy hockey sports romances, and specifically ones that have a second chance trope, this one would be a yes for me. The next book is called Honor by Danielle Baker. This is another new release that came out at the start of this year, and it's a third book within a companion series. You actually don't need to read the first two books within this series. If you only read this one, I think you'll still get the same kind of emotions out of it. This one focuses on a single mom who has recently lost her husband to an accident, and she is a mom of 2 children and is expecting a third on the way. And she has a romance with her next door neighbor, who also happens to be her brother's best friend and boss. Her brother and her neighbor are hotshot wildfire firefighters, and there is a lot going on between the two of them. Essentially, he has always had a thing for her, so this is the story of he falls first for sure. And also he helps her out quite a lot because he sees that she's in a predicament where she is quite overwhelmed with being a mom of 3 and just dealing with grief and everything. So I did enjoy this book. I think for me it was a yes, so I would recommend this book. But I do think that a lot of people were kind of underwhelmed with this one the most. So maybe for some of you it's a maybe. Maybe research this one to see if you might like the tropes for this one. But I really did enjoy it and I would recommend it. Now for the next one, I'm going to shout from all the rooftops, yes, 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 yes. This one is First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. It's the latest book released by this author that is not part of her very well beloved and known Love Light Farm series. This is a book that is going to be a standalone companion book to a couple of other releases that she has planned this year and next year. They're like spin-offs or retellings of 90s rom-com movies. This one specifically is focusing on, I think it was Sleepless in Seattle. Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle. I think I mentioned When Harry Met Sally in one of my other videos, but actually When Harry Met Sally is going to be another book of hers. This one is focused on Sleepless in Seattle, and it focuses on a heroine who is a single mom. She's at home doing some like random stuff at home when she hears her daughter having a conversation with someone who sounds like is a stranger. Her daughter is a teenager and she's like, who the heck is my daughter talking to? And she finds out that her daughter called a very popular radio show to ask for love advice about her mom. She was mortified, obviously, but then she starts talking to this radio show host who has been hosting this radio show about love for quite some years and is quite popular on the scene. So the two of them forge a relationship, more so a friendship, and then he also invites her on the radio show to try to find a partner for her. So it kind of becomes a dating kind of a segment on the radio show, which is quite fun. And I ate this book up. I would recommend this book to anyone who loves romance. I think it's a splendid kind of a romance with a lot of discussions on what love feels like, should feel like, what kind of things in love you're looking for, and also kind of discovering yourself within a relationship as well, because the heroine hasn't been in a relationship for a long time, so she kind of needs to figure it out. Like, what am I looking for in a partner? And I really love that about the book. And also the single parent aspect really I loved within this book, because it's very difficult to pull off a girl teenager in a book, in my opinion, but I really loved their relationship as well. So this one is a definite yes for me. The next book is the second book by Peyton Corinne that follows up a very popular book from last year, which was called Unsteady. Everyone was loving Unsteady, and then the second book is called Unloved. It's within the same world, so it's a companion. It is a standalone companion because you can read this one without having read the first one, I think. This one is a new adult, again, hockey romance where the hero is a hockey player. He's very popular on the team, but he has some trouble with his academics. He has dyslexia, but also dyscalculia. I don't know how that is that condition is called, but he also has ADHD. So there's a representation for a couple of things that he's struggling with his academics, and then the heroine is his tutor. And the two of them start on a friendship first before they become romantically involved, because the heroine actually is in a committed relationship. But they do have a bit of a history that the hero actually doesn't remember. So there's a lot of interesting kind of conversations between them. There's a lot of growth for the hero and also the heroine, because she's in a bit of a toxic relationship and she needs to break out of the insecurities that she has because of all the gaslighting that she's going through with her current partner. So I really did enjoy this one. I think that Peyton Corinne does emotional romances quite well. So this one is definitely a yes for me. You should definitely look into it and pick this one up. The next book is a bit controversial. I'm going to explain why in a second. This one is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. If you ask me, this is 100% a yes book for me, but it does deal a lot with grief. So if you're triggered by talks of grief, by losing a very close loved one, then it's possibly a maybe or a no. But for me, this book was really close to perfection, maybe because I'm very kind of influenced by the friends to lovers trope. I really love friends to lovers when it's done very well, when we focus on how they are growing into their relationship. This book does that so well. We've got a heroine who has recently lost her best friend to cancer, and she's kind of trying to pick up the pieces and trying to figure out how she's going to move on. And she's doing short-term nannying jobs to get by. And one of those jobs is for the hero's niece. And he, first of all, has a bit of a weird impression of her. He is not on board with what kind of a nannying methods she is kind of introducing for his niece. But then he figures out that he can definitely get some help from her because he's kind of socially awkward. So he wants some help with how to connect with his niece, and she helps him out. So the two of them have this very weird friendship going on at the start, but it really grows into a very close friendship because they understand each other so well and they support each other with the things that they need from one another. And then it obviously grows into more. I don't know, I just really love this story. It does deal with grief heavily. That's why I would say it's a maybe for some people, but for me it was a perfect read, so I would definitely recommend it. The next book I'm not going to spend too much time on because it's a no for me. This one is Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft, and this one focuses on kind of like a Disney World kind of a situation of Pixie Hollow. If you know about Pixie Hollow and you love Pixie Hollow, maybe this one is going to be it for you. But for me, because I didn't know anything about this world and I was never invested in this show that it's based on, it was kind of lost on me and I just didn't enjoy it, so it's a no for me. The next book I really enjoyed because I was already invested in the series and I definitely enjoyed I think this is the last book within the standalone companion series by Christina Forrest. This one is called The Love Lyric. It just recently came out and I read the audiobook for it and I really highly enjoyed it. This series focuses on three sisters, and this is the oldest sister within the family, and she is also a single mom because she has recently become widowed, or maybe not recently, but she has become widowed, so she is a single mom. And she has a romance with one of her clients who is an R&B singer. So she works for this company that is like a beauty company, and they're going to be starting on a campaign where they need like a big name to promote certain products, and he's going to be that name. He's an R&B singer, and he actually knows the heroine from a different kind of a situation because her sister is, I think, like a stylist or something like that. So he knows her sister and they've been in close proximity at certain kind of social situations. So he has had his eye on her for a while, but he didn't really have like the guts to really make a move on her. But now that they're going to be in close proximity and are going to be working together, he definitely wants to shoot his shot, and I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with it, and I really love when the hero falls first and he's completely gone for the heroine and he's kind of really fighting to get her to relent and to date him. So yeah, this one was a definite yes for me. The next book, unfortunately, is another no from me. This is The Love Simulation by Etta Easton. I unfortunately didn't love this book as much as I had hoped. I read the debut romance by this author last year. That was quite an exciting book for me to try out, but it was again a no from me. But then I thought maybe I need to try a second book to see if it was a miss, just this one off. But unfortunately, I don't think that this author is for me. So The Love Simulation focuses on a heroine who works at this school, and she desperately wants to have some funds to renovate and to add on to the library that they have at this school. And she's like a vice principal at this school. And the hero is the principal's son, who also works at the school. He's a science teacher, and she thinks that the principal wants to push his son to take over her role. So there is this kind of a perceived rivalry between them. And what is going to be happening that is going to bring them into close proximity is there's going to be this program over the summer where they're going to be doing the simulation of going into this pod as if going to Mars. And then if they do this assignment very well, then they'll get some funds that they can potentially use towards the library. So she's very motivated and invested in this project, but unfortunately for her, she thinks at the start of the book, the hero is going to be one of the participants. So they're going to be in close proximity, and they're going to be getting to know each other as the project goes on for the next 5 or 6 weeks. So the premise of the book is really intriguing. I really love the setup of the book, but then again, the heroine had so many assumptions about the hero, and she was so antagonistic towards him that I really couldn't buy into their romance in the end. I really felt for the hero. I was like, guy, you deserve more than the way that you're treated by this heroine. So unfortunately, when it comes to the romance, it just didn't deliver for me. The next new release is a romance by Sarah Rush. This is called Go Luck Yourself. I really highly enjoyed The Nightmare Before Christmas by this author that came out just before Christmas. And then this one focuses on a spring holiday, so St. Patrick's Day in this case. We've got two heroes who are both princes of their courts. We've got one of them a prince of Christmas, and the second one the prince of St. Patrick's Day. And the two of them are kind of... They started their relationship off on the wrong footing. They have a lot of banter together, and the Prince of Christmas assumes that the Prince of St. Patrick's Day has stolen some magic from them, so he's out there in their court to investigate whether that is the case. So he's kind of on a mission, and they go on these kinds of different activities together. It's just a book that has a lot of fun activities, a lot of fun banter, fun conversations, and I don't know, I had a lot of fun with this one as well. I did enjoy The Nightmare Before Christmas more than this one, but I would still recommend this one. It is a yes for me. And then I think the whole bookish world was looking forward to this new release. It's Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It's the latest release within the Hunger Games world. I read this one last week, and I have to say that I did tear up a couple of times throughout the book, maybe because throughout all these books, Haymitch has been such a big presence within the Hunger Games, and we know that his story, or at least we felt that his story was going to be very kind of emotional and damaging because of the way that he turned out in the Hunger Games books. And when we find out what exactly has happened during his Hunger Games cycle, it just breaks your heart all over again for him. And I really enjoyed this book, and it's a definite yes for me. The next book is a romantic suspense book that came out at the start of this year by Catherine Cowles. It's a standalone book because she has a lot of series, like romantic suspense series, but this one is a standalone. That's why I decided to pick this one up. It's called All the Missing Pieces, and I really did highly enjoy this one. I would definitely recommend it, so it's a yes for me. This one centers on a heroine who is in college at the start of the book with her sister. They're on a night out, and during this night out, her sister gets kidnapped. And she really kind of doesn't get closure on whatever has happened to her sister because she never gets found. So she starts this podcast that turns quite popular. It's like a crime and mystery kind of a podcast that has become quite popular. She goes to all these places where different kinds of crimes have been committed, like kidnappings and rapes and serial murders and stuff like that. And she works with local law enforcement to try to help them to resolve these cases. And now she's traveling to this new small town where she hopes to interview a girl who used to be kidnapped but escaped the serial killer, because she's on the lookout for the serial killer. But then she encounters this girl's brother, who is also the local sheriff. So she kind of has this antagonistic kind of first impression and also first kind of encounter with him, because he definitely feels as if she is there to exploit his sister's story. Well, that is not the case. So they start off on the wrong footing, but as the story progresses, their relationship kind of develops. And I really did enjoy this one. All the mysterious kind of situations of who done it, and well, they find this serial killer, and what exactly has happened to her sister and to his sister as well. I don't know, I really had a lot of fun with this one. It was suspenseful, and in the end, the kind of reveal was kind of surprising as well to some extent. So yeah, I really did enjoy this one, and it's a yes for me. Now, the next book you're probably going to be hearing different things about from different people. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to possibly be disappointed by it. It's Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and I have to say that for me, this one is going to end up in my favorites of the year. This is a book that deals heavily with grief and also with caretaking, with gaslighting and abuse in a certain relationship. So there's a lot of heavier topics within this book that may kind of feel heavy, and I understand that a lot of people may feel like it kind of steers away from the romance, but for me, I didn't feel that way. I felt like it only contributed to the strong connection between the two characters, because they need to be pulling off a long distance relationship. The story starts with them meeting because of a chance encounter. The heroine saves this kitten. He is a vet, so she goes to his vet's clinic to try to save this kitten. He first of all says to her that's not gonna happen because the kitty has this kind of a very serious condition, but she's like, you watch me, I'm gonna pull it off. I'm going to raise money to have this kitten saved. And yeah, that's how the story starts. So they have a bit of a, again, antagonistic kind of a first meet cute, but at the same time we do see that both of them are impressed by each other in certain ways, and the hero decides upon a second kind of a consultation that he's going to ask her out on a date. And they spend this one date together, like a full kind of almost 24-hour date together, doing amazing things and connecting with each other, only for him to find out that she's going to be moving because her mom needs care from her family. Her mom has dementia, and she essentially is moving to another state. He lives in Minnesota, she's going to be living in California. So the two of them need to pull off a long distance relationship if they want to make it work. So this book has so much kind of longing, and it has a bit of a slow burn, even though it starts with this magical date where you know that they connect on a very high level. From that point on, it becomes kind of this slow burn towards finding out whether they're going to find their happily ever after. And I really loved it. I loved how much the two of them, or at least especially the hero, had to sacrifice to make this relationship work, but also for her to deal with such a difficult situation and still feel like she can make it work. I don't know, it worked for me. For me, this book was, again, perfection. Maybe because I've had someone in my kind of life and I've seen what dementia does to people and how heartbreaking it is. I felt for the heroine, and I felt for her family, and I know that everyone is hating on the dad because of what he did. In this book, I'm not gonna do any spoilers, but there are some certain things that happen within the family dynamic that a lot of people don't agree with and hate the father for it. But for me, maybe I'm a bit more liberal when it comes to that. I'm just like, you know, this is a highly difficult situation that very few people can really step into the shoes of that situation to see how they would feel if they would need to take care of someone with progressing dementia. So I don't know. I love this book. I love this book. It's a definite yes for me, but please look up the triggers to see if it's a maybe kind of a situation for you. The next book is an interesting one. It came on my radar because I saw that Fonda Lee co-wrote this book. The book is called Breath of a Dragon by Shannon and also Fonda Lee. So Shannon Lee is the daughter of Bruce Lee, and Fonda Lee is the author of Jade City and Jade War and Jade Legacy. So yeah, I was really intrigued by this book. This is a young adult fantasy book. It centers on two brothers who are twins, and within this world you get breath marked as a child, and not all children get breath marked. If you're breath marked, then like a dragon has kind of given you certain kind of abilities. And these two brothers, one of them is breath marked while the other one isn't. So the two parents, they're forced to split the two brothers apart. The mother takes the breath marked child to this big city where he can train and be in this academy to kind of hone on his skills, while the other brother goes with the father and he kind of needs to live a completely different life. And we're following the story of the brother who is not breath marked, who essentially is trying to figure out a way of how to get to his mother and other brother, and kind of also prove himself that he also has abilities even though he doesn't have those magical abilities. So I was really intrigued by this book. I really highly enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it. It's a yes for me. The next book is called Losing Sight by Taddy Richardson. This one I really highly enjoyed because it centers on characters who are in their mid to late 40s. We've got a heroine who is a sports newscaster, and we've got a hero who is an optometrician, so like an eye doctor. We've got the heroine who has been in this network doing sports coverage for quite some time, but because she is aging and the production company for her network are like, yeah, we need to change you up for someone who is younger and more exciting for the audience, she is desperately fighting against this stereotype. She wants to keep her job, and she has this problem where she doesn't read like the cue cards or the auto prompter very well because she is losing the ability to read very well with her age. But she doesn't want to get glasses because it's going to age her. But then her friends are like, you've gotta do something about this because you cannot continue like that, so you really need to get some glasses. And she goes to the hero to get her eyes checked and to get some glasses. And the interesting thing about the story is that there is a magical aspect to it. She gets these magical glasses from his from his place, and she sees like auras of different men whenever she's in the company of some guy, maybe her boss or someone new. She sees this colorful aura around them, and this aura represents what kind of a character they have. So she can judge their character based on their aura, which I really found to be quite interesting and intriguing. There were certain kind of parts of the book that I felt were like too much, but at the same time, I don't know, I had fun with this one, and I really highly enjoyed the fact that we've got characters who are kind of in their later stage of their life and have gone through relationships and have been formed by those relationships and now need to make it work with completely new people. And I really did enjoy this one. It's a yes for me. All right, guys, we've got two more, and those are really good ones, so stick around for both of them. The first one is No Ordinary Love by Maya Ariel. Now, Maya Ariel, I read the debut book by this author last year and I was really impressed by it, so I definitely was on the lookout for the second one. And when I saw the cover and I saw that this book is called No Ordinary Love, I just knew to the bottom of my heart that I was going to love this story. If you see the cover, it's just gorgeous, but the heroine has very much a resemblance to the singer Sade for me. And No Ordinary Love is one of her most popular songs, and it also appears in this book as well, so it's very much centered on this singer. And I really love this book. I really enjoyed it to the fullest. We've got a heroine who is an R&B singer, and she is now going to be going through a divorce. And the problem with her divorce is that she has been tied to her husband, who has also been her producer. And she very much, kind of, her image is very much tied to his. And the hero in this book is a baseball player who they meet at this award ceremony where they're kind of invited to present this award together. They don't know each other, but they're going to be going on stage together to present this award. And there is this kind of a wardrobe mishap that happens with her dress, and he helps her out just before they're due to present, and that's where their kind of meet cute starts. The hero has a stutter, which I really loved the representation for that in the book. And she kind of keeps him grounded and calm, and he kind of wants to bring out the best in her and kind of give her the confidence that she has been missing because of what she has been going through with her ex-husband. And the two of them, she invites him, or at least her team invites him to participate in her new music video, which is going to be a retake of No Ordinary Love. And just that shoot of the music video was everything to me. I really, really loved it. I just love the story between them. It does deal a lot with like the celebrity drama kind of a cycle to, like, for example, if you're following like gossip about, let's say, Beyonce or Rihanna or whatever, it does have that kind of element in the book. So if you don't enjoy those celebrity kind of romances, it might be a no for you. But for me, because it just had the 90s to 2000s vibes when it comes to the music within the book, like the R&B setting, and also like the longing and yearning between the two characters, I really ate this book up, so it's a definite yes for me. All right, and the newest and latest release that I'm going to talk about is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the fourth and last book within her Rebel Blue Ranch series. This is a Cowboy Small Town series. So I liked the first book. I was okay with the second book. I loved the third book, and I also loved the fourth book. This book focuses on Cam. She is the mother of the child of the hero from book 3. The two of them kind of had like a one-night stand and have a child together. They're like best friends, but they never had a very big romantic relationship together. So Cam is due to get married at the start of this book with someone she's not in love with. But essentially she has a very controlling family, and they expect her to marry someone that they approve of. So that's why she has agreed to marry this guy, but then he stands her up at the altar. So she doesn't get married at the start of the book, and she has a second chance romance with her first and kind of only love, and that is Dusty. He is someone she used to go to school with, so we do get flashback scenes and chapters within the book of how they met, how they developed their love for one another, and we also get chapters of now, what is the situation? She has a kid, she is getting over this situation with her ex-fiance and also with her parents, and she needs to find like a place to live. So there's a lot of things going on, and he helps her out with a lot of those things and helps also with standing up for herself against her parents. And I really enjoyed this book. It was a perfect ending to this series. It was kind of whimsical, kind of nostalgic for me, and I love a second chance romance. I'm a sucker for those. So for me, this one is a definite yes. All right, dear friends, these were the 17 new releases that I gave you my opinion on whether you should pick them up or not. Luckily, most of these were yeses and kind of maybes. Only 2 of them, or 3 of them actually, were no's for me. Please let me know if you're planning on adding any of these to your TBR, whether they sound good to you. And I may be making this like a regular occurrence because I do tend to pick up new releases whenever they come out. So maybe in a month or so I may make a new one. We'll wait out and see. Let me know if you're anticipating any new releases that I should be on the lookout for, that I should pick up and maybe review in the next one. And I hope to see you in the next one. I hope that I'm well enough to continue filming. I do have a vlog that I need to edit from my latest trip. We went to Dubrovnik in Vienna and Italy, so I may try to wrap this vlog up and post it next week. I'm gonna wait out and see, but I hope that I feel well enough to continue filming. I have a couple of videos planned to sit down on film and share with all of you, so I hope that I get to do that in the next couple of days. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Happy reading. Take care, and bye-bye.